Hello and welcome to your Club Everton Daily. The date is Wednesday, the 8th of February 2012. No needless gushing, no arsing about. We're going to get straight into business today. So what are we doing in the daily? Well, we're going to round up the news. In our roundtable discussion topic, we're going to be talking about changes to the emergency loan system and how they're going to impact lower league football. We're going to round up today's gossip. And in the article of interest, why Jose Mourinho should not return to the Premier League. Or why Premier League teams should avoid Jose Mourinho, and that's when Saturday comes online. Alright, so let's get straight down to business then, and we'll start with the news. First piece of news is that Victor Anichebe has called for a repeat of the Man City heroics when Chelsea come to Goodison on Saturday. City were humbled last week as both players and fans alike were at their very best, and Anichebe feels that if that can be replicated, then the Londoners will also find life difficult on Merseyside. Anichebe told Everton TV, "It's a great game for us. Hopefully the fans will get behind us like they did against Man City. It really helps the team a lot. Ideally, we can get a good result and carry on as we are. We always do well towards the end of the season and hopefully we will again." So Van Distelrooy meanwhile agrees that the players will have to be at their optimum to upset a Chelsea team who were comfortable 3-1 winners in the reverse fixture at Stamford Bridge. Distin said, "It's another big game, that is for sure, but there are no easy games in reality." This was his comments after he made his comeback against Wigan. He also said, "There is no one game where you can take it easy. The league is always strong, but this season is really compact. We all definitely need to be 100% for Chelsea." Definitely so. Alright, so of course, the main piece of news is that we now know who we're going to be playing in the 5th round of the FA Cup. Excuse me while I take a quick drink. I'm suffering a bit with my throat at the moment. But we're going to be playing Blackpool, who beat Sheffield Wednesday very comfortably by 3-0 in their 4th round replay. Matt Phillips steering in a low shot on 7 minutes after an earlier effort by Ryan Lowe from Wednesday was saved. Lamana Lualua then killed one into the top corner from the edge of the box 7 minutes later, and Ludovic Silvestre put the game beyond reach when he collected Phillips' back heel to score similarly in the second half. So Ian Holloway's side are both now unbeaten in 8 games and are 4th in the Championship as they push for promotion after being relegated last season. But with this display, they'll give Everton a good test in the next round, such was the fluidity of their attacking. Kevin Phillips was at the heart of much of the good work. Of course, the last time we played Blackpool, it was more or less a rout. But obviously we're going to have to work very hard if we're going to get past them in a cup situation, because one mistake could cost us the game. And obviously that's the case in league matches as well, the difference being though that one mistake could end your cup dream. And obviously the cup is something that now that we're at this stage, we want to hold on to try and get as far as we can. Anyway, that's it for the news, so we'll move on to our roundtable for today, and it is the emergency loan ban. It's fair to say that Carlisle United manager Greg Abbott is not a fan of FIFA's plans to scrap the emergency loan window in 2014. Under Abbott's tenure, the Cumbrians have made good use of the system, bringing in players from Premier League clubs including Man City, Man United and Sunderland to bolster their squad. In addition, players such as Adam Clayton, James Chester and Chris Chandler all found permanent moves away from the top flight following their loan stints at Brunton Park. Yet in 2 years' time, such deals will no longer be allowed. Abbott told BBC's late kick-off programme, "It's an absolute outrage. For us it would be a disaster and it will crucify us financially. We know at the start of the season that revenue is not going to be there, so we have to gamble. We either go with a small squad or overload the squad with players, and financially we cause the club a problem. I don't think there's been a lot of thought gone into it. Obviously the intention of the emergency loan system is to allow Football League clubs with their lesser resources to add to their squad in case of injuries and suspensions outside of the summer and winter transfer windows. Both Newcastle and Sunderland have made use of the mechanism to give players on the fringe of the first team an opportunity to play competitive football elsewhere. James Tavernier joined Carlisle from Newcastle when Frank Simek picked up an injury early on in the season, while Sunderland have regularly sent players on loan to lower league clubs to get first team experience. Alan Pardew, Newcastle manager, said for our younger players the experience to gain out on loan is essential for them to play at the level we're at. Martin O'Neill, his counterpart at Sunderland, said, "We are loaning some players out at this moment to Championship and Football League teams to further their education. It's great, and hopefully they can come back having played 5 or 6 games and they're getting themselves prepared for the Premier League, which can only be good news." Not all clubs, however, are concerned by the proposal. Hartlepool United profited from the emergency loan of Blackburn Rovers goalkeeper Jake Keane, who impressed when injuries to Scott Flinders and Andy Rafferty hit last season. However, the club chairman Ken Hogcroft believes that the current transfer windows offer clubs suitable opportunities to strengthen. He said, "If the system's taken away, I think a club like ours would be fine. A lot of clubs depend on loans, and again, it's up to running a business. If you're not capable of getting the right players, and you end up struggling, then perhaps you haven't done business right at the beginning." One potential of scrapping the system would be felt at youth team level, with the possibility of increased exposure to first team action for academy prospects. Clubs are going to start looking at their youth systems if they can't loan a player when they get injuries or suspensions. Maybe they have to dig deep into their own resources, Tony Mowbray of Middlesbrough said. Taking away loan systems will force clubs to play their young players. It's a pressure that sometimes brings the best out of some. You'll never know how they'll react until they're out there in front of a crowd. FIFA have called for a consultation period to consider the current transfer window structure, and Abbott has made his position clear. Bigger clubs might just get away with it, but for the smaller clubs it would be a horrid thing to happen, he added. It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. If that's the case, then they must scrap the window and allow us to do our business the whole year round. The whole episode, by the way, of Late Kick-Off in the North East and Cumbria is available on the BBC iPlayer if you want to see that interview in full. So, we want to know your stance on the emergency loan market. Do you think it's a good thing, or do you agree that maybe resources can be better allocated if the option's taken away? That's what our forums are for, that's what the social media and the comments on YouTube are for, so get posting. Alright, so we'll move on to the gossip. As always, the source and the story, and we start with Talkshite, who say that Chelsea manager Andre Villas-Boas is amongst the candidates being considered by Inter Milan as their new coach for next season. Metro reports that Juventus winger Milos Krasic could be off to Chelsea in the summer, as his agent admitted there's a mutual admiration between his clients and the Blues. The current rag reports that Arsenal are ready to fight Chelsea for £30 million Lille winger Eden Hazard. The Star reports that Newcastle striker Demba Ba has no plans to quit the North East despite the release clause in his contract, which could see him move on in the summer. London Evening Standard reports that Chelsea will start the rebuilding of their squad in the summer by completing a deal for 23-year-old Shakhtar Donetsk winger Willian. The Racist reports that Arsenal are eyeing a move for Daniel Sturridge. The Chelsea striker is believed to be unhappy with his wing role at Stamford Bridge. The Mirror reports that Man City have joined Man United in the pursuit of 23-year-old Benfica winger Nicolas Gaetan. The Racist reports that Chelsea are believed to have signed 15-year-old Denmark under-17s defender Andrea Christensen from Brøndby on a free transfer. Talkshite reports that Man City are poised to make a move for Real Madrid defender Raul Albiol, 26 years old at the end of the season. Abidal, what the fuck. The Star reports that Chelsea are lining up a bid for Atletico Madrid's Colombian striker Falcao, and could offer the Spanish club Fernando Torres as part of the deal. Mirror reports that Blackburn could get just 675 grand in compensation if 21-year-old winger Junior Hoylett, for Junior Hoylett in the summer, if Bayern Munich follow up with their interest in signing him. Inside Football reports that Chelsea midfielder Kevin De Bruyne has admitted he expects to spend next season on loan, and confirmed that Steve McLaren's FC20 have expressed an interest in his services. Another gossip, the Contract reports that Mario Balotelli Copenhagen reports that Mario Balotelli has handed Man City a boost by hinting he plans to stay put for at least a further 18 months. Manchester Evening News reports that Strauch's fixtures poised to make Javier Hernandez, better known as Chicharito, a key man in the Champions title run-in after his goal-scoring display against Chelsea on Sunday. The Liverpool Echo reports that Everton's defender Sylvain Distin says Stephen Pienaar was irreplaceable for Everton as he hails the playmaker's return. The Mirror reports that Aston Villa fans have planned a demonstration against Alex McLeish at the weekend. The Express reports that Luis Suarez and Patrice Evra will be expected to shake hands before Saturday's game between Man United and Liverpool, after the Premier League confirmed they will not dispense with the pre-match ritual. Oh, that's going to be fun. South Wales Evening Post reports that the Swansea squad will be heading for warm weather training in their 15-day break from first team games in a bid to enhance their Premier League survival bid. The Plymouth Herald reports that Plymouth Argyle have vowed to ban supporters found guilty of using racist language after one person was arrested at their home game against Southend United last weekend. Thanks, Liverpool. And finally, there's only one. It's from the Metro. After announcing himself to the Premier League with a brief cameo during Liverpool's stalemate with Tottenham, the Anfield Cat has now raked up over 24,000 followers on Twitter in less than 24 hours. Idiocy of some fans. Right, well that's it for the gossip. And we'll finish off with our article of interest, which is Premier League teams should avoid Jose Mourinho. Written by William Turville for When Saturday Comes, wsc.co.uk for this and more great articles. He's tactically brilliant, unbeatable in man games, and capable of overcoming any opponent on his day. But Jose Mourinho is not the best manager in the world. If reports suggesting he will leave the Bernabeu in the summer are true, it would, in the long term at least, be a mistake for any Premier League club to take him on. The first and most often excused problem with Mourinho as a manager is that he's a troublemaker. You might argue that his antics distract from his players and benefit his team, but there is a limit to his logic. When a manager blames himself, or more likely the referee, for a disappointing result, the team could well benefit from the deflated attention. When a manager uses elaborate mind games to give his side a psychological advantage over his opponents, that can be good as well. But winding up opposition supporters, being regularly sent out to the stands for bad behaviour, and even involving yourself in player brawls, slapping faces and pulling ears, is something quite different. It's hard to see how these types of incidents can be for the good of the team. On a deeper level, Mourinho's found himself short-sighted as a manager. Winning the league twice with Chelsea was great, but the club was left in a mess when he departed. This was not because Nuno landed with an inferior manager, but because the team was developed in an unsustainable manner. In just over 3 years, Mourinho spent over £200 million on 23 players, just 4 of whom were 21 years old or younger. He sold over 10 academy team products and left an ageing time bomb of a squad. The squad has had some success since, but without regular large investments has generally been declining in quality since its peak in the Mourinho era. Mourinho's worst attribute is his inability to commit. He's worked across 6 different clubs since his managerial career began in 2000, spending an average of 2 years at each. Maybe he did not expressly ask to leave each of his clubs. He's widely believed to have been shoved from Chelsea under the veil of mutual consent. And he's had issues getting along with colleagues and not jumping ship. It's been long rumoured that Mourinho's intention is to return to the Premier League. No doubt this will be greeted with great excitement for the clubs concerned, but should there be? Yes, he's a brilliant manager, but he's not without his flaws. Doing well for 2 years is all very good, but what comes after that? Mourinho may have achieved a lot, but he's yet to prove himself as a long-term manager. So obviously that's going to bring up some controversy, so we want your opinions on that, and you know the places for doing it. In fact, we're going to tell you those in a sec. Alright, so that's it for today's Daily. Thank you very much for listening. And before we let you go, we'll let you know how to get in touch with us on social networks. We're on Google+, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. Links are in the description to both the video and the podcast. Don't forget to join us on our site, clubeverton.co.uk, and the forum, clubeverton.co.uk/forum. We are also on YouTube and iTunes. Don't forget to subscribe to us on both of those, the Club Everton Daily channel on YouTube and Club Everton Radio on iTunes respectively. Don't forget to nominate the Fallatonians for the Shorty Award.
mention at Folotonians, mention Shorty Awards and use the hashtag soccer, and that'll count as a nomination on Twitter. And finally, Club Everton Dailies are brought to you by Hans Tours, the official travel partner of clubeverton.co.uk. For more information, visit hanstours.co.uk or give Hannah a ring on 077 521 21 395. Well, that's it for today's daily. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you again tomorrow.